Okay, here we go again. I just did a whole video and my tablet stand was covering the microphone, so I couldn't hear anything. Here we go again. I want to make a forecast for silver because, because I predicted the rally from August when it was around 30, 35 bucks, and I predicted it would go to 50. And I continued doing more research and I realized this is nowhere near the top. So anyways, after Friday's insane sell-off, which was basically a knee-jerk reaction, lots of leverage with this run-up of people piling in. So all it takes is a spark to light a room full of gasoline, and that's what it was. Just stop losses, trigger price to go down, trigger more stop losses. People are scared to buy, so the price has to go down. Now, I wanted to make a video after all this happened. You can see where we bottomed out, obviously at a support of around 70 bucks. And you can see on the weekly time frame, if I go to that here, we're leaving really clear rejection to the downside. So, is this the bottom? I would say I'm 50-50 on it. There could always be some sort of catalyst that will cause price to spike below it and come back up, but I do think the bottom is around here. Now, with silver, there's not that much of it to be owned by, let's say, just citizens start stacking more than they do right now. I think 1% of the US owns silver. So what if that doubles and we go to only 2%? I mean, with the internet and everything, word gets around, trends are able to develop, and there isn't enough physical silver to satisfy if everybody really wanted to get their hands on some. So I think that that's going to happen. I think that the industrial demand situation, yes, it's there, meaning that there's more industrial demand than supply, but I don't think that's what will catalyze a violent squeeze to the upside. I think that's going to be a mix of both the industrial demand and retail people as they can continue to try to get out of fiat currency, as they realize that, you know, they're spending it recklessly. They're creating so much of it out of thin air. The debt situation just keeps getting worse. They're going to want to get their hands on things like gold, silver, Bitcoin, things that should preserve their value, if not gain value in inflationary times. So what I expect to see, I'll keep it short, is I expect to see some consolidation here for the time being after such a huge run-up. People decide to get out, buy other things, but then other people are realizing this is actually going to, unless I don't even know what could change this trajectory. You know, maybe it's industrial users saying that they are switching to using copper so that they can get a one last ditch attempt to buy at a lower price. Meanwhile, copper corrodes, silver doesn't. So you can't really replace silver. Silver conducts electricity a hell of a lot better than copper as well. So I would expect that this will be a last ditch attempt, if that happens, for them to be able to load up on silver. The other thing, if the narrative comes out that they actually are running out, the world is running out of above ground silver, industrial users will front run it and buy it as much as they possibly can, which will then just make the price go up. So I expect some sideways action here. Not sure for how long, but I do think that this whole Kevin Warsh strengthening the dollar being a hawk is a bunch of BS. The government of the United States literally cannot afford, if they keep rates really high, to finance their debt. If the rates are extremely high, they need them to be lower. So I think that's what's going to happen. I expect, here's my target, okay? I think 2 years, we get to at least 170. And why I chose 170 is because I think silver will make a new all-time high, not just in nominal value, but inflation adjusted. So the inflation adjusted high was from 1980. I think it hit $47, $48. And if you do the adjustment, it comes out to about 170 in today's dollars. So I think that given the fact that we now have incredible industrial demand and we now have the internet, so it's not just word of mouth, people telling their friends to buy it. I mean, the information nowadays spreads so fast that if you get everybody, every average Joe on board starting to stack a bit of silver, I don't think it could go any lower. I think it only goes higher, and I think 170 is the bare minimum, and I think 200 is a logical price as well for the next 2 years. I really do. So that's my forecast. 170 to 200 in the next 2 years is my forecast. So if you buy now, that's over 100% return minimum in 2 years. So 50% a year. That's incredible. And you should take that kind of return any day. So that's that. I'll make an update if this gets fulfilled or if we just tank. I'll provide an update either way.